Hello out there, and today we are doing something completely different on this channel. We are doing a knife sale of my own knives. I've done a couple sales in the past, but never of my own collection, and I figured why not make it available to you guys. You're the ones who support me the most and watch the videos and comment and have all that interaction, so why not do one on YouTube? And so that's what we're going to be doing today. A couple caveats before we get into the details of any of these pieces. Number one, I'm going to be accepting PayPal friends and family only. That's just the way that it works. Number two, these knives for the most part are all used, so I'm going to try to spend as much time as I can showing any issues, if there are any, with these knives and giving you the details so that you understand what you're getting into when you decide to make a purchase, and maybe better educate you so maybe you decide not to. Want to make sure that what you're getting is something that you're happy with. And the last thing is that I'm going to get these shipped when and if they sell as quickly as possible, but I'm really sort of struggling with with work and being a new father, and I'm not making it to the post office all that often. So I might hold off a few days and try to go in one big trip and sell or ship as many as I can at once. So if you purchase one of these day one, it might be a few days before they actually go out. So letting you know that right now. Mad props to the people who are able to ship really quickly, because it's been a struggle for me sometimes in the past, and I mean even now it's just more hectic than ever before. All right, so let me pull all these things aside and we'll go through these one by one and talk about what we have here. It's a lot of knives. It's tough to let go. I had a lot more on the list, to be honest, and I cross some of them off because I just couldn't bear with with parting with them. So the first one that we have here is the Viper Belone, and this is a knife that I really like. I have a couple videos about it. I reviewed it. I've disassembled this thing, and the action and everything about it is better than it was when I first got it. So it's really nice and snappy, easy to flip. Very cool knife, M390, Jesper Voxnäs design. This one is in pretty excellent shape. I carried it, I carried it a decent amount. The clip is not the best clip, and the clip does have a little bit of wear where the anodizing is like coming up. You can probably see that on the edges here. But otherwise, yeah, knife looks really good. Prices will be in the description if you don't catch it here, but this one is going to be $130. So I think they sell for like $180 maybe. So yeah, $130, really nice piece. We're going to the United States as well. So if you're international and you want to buy one of these, definitely reach out, hit me up in the comments. I am going to have preference to trying to move it domestically, just because it is much easier. So just letting you know that. So $130 on the Bolon, right? And I'll keep the description updated as things move. The next one is a Burke Blades, and this is the Iron Pup. All these knives, by the way, will come with boxes unless otherwise stated. So this knife was one I got at Blade Show 2018. This is one of the earliest incarnations of the knife, I believe. So this is an S35 VN. Me and a bunch of people who I knew got these because they were just super cool. This knife, I sent it out to get it professionally sharpened, and hopefully I can capture this on camera. Oh, you can actually see, yep, at the edge right there. So the sharpening job, it got it sharp, but they put some scratches on it, so that sucks. So so do we have that. Yeah, but this is one of the earlier versions of it, and I know they've come out with like newer things and upgraded steel and this and that, but this is the S35 VN. Pretty sweet knife. It just never really makes it in the pocket anymore, and I keep forgetting that I still have it. So yeah, ready to move on from it. I'm asking $165 on this, and this is we manufactured. This will come with the pouch that it came in, but nothing else, which is interesting. But at Blade Show that year, they didn't have like autographed like cards, like no maker kind of things. They were actually even out of business cards at the Burke Blades booth. It was their first Blade Show. They were yeah, they were I'm not going to say unprepared, but I think the reception that they got was very high, and so they just ran out of a lot of stuff. And so there's no certificate of authenticity or anything like that, but it's real. All All right, next, let's grab the Spyderco. So here is the Spyderco Coochie, and this one is the Collector's Club number 90, so it is not the it is not the CQI edition. So the action on this is, I mean, it's good and it works, but I don't know, it could be better. And it was one of the things that I sort of mentioned in my review that I wish it was a little bit better, and they have upgraded it. And so those upgraded ones do have a little bit more drop shutty tendencies. This knife is in wonderful shape. Comes with the box, all that good stuff. It's still, you can see, relatively easy to open, but you know, closing not quite as good. Maybe if you disassemble and tweak it a little bit, you'll be able to get a little bit better action out of it. But yeah, as it is, it's still a pretty good knife. Asking $95 for this. All right, next we have the Case Sharktooth, and this knife is sweet, guys. I mean, it's a really cool design, and it's one that I liked a lot and was so drawn to, and was if you watched my review, a little bit irritated, more than a little bit irritated with some of the things about this knife. This one is S35VN. This is manufactured by Southern Grind. And, you know, I really liked the CG01, which was their first collaboration, and that's why I jumped at getting this knife when I could. It's in pretty decent shape. The issue that I had with it was being able to take it apart. It was a real struggle. Pieces didn't fit together particularly well. And so there's some scuffing on the screws on both sides, and potentially these are stripped a little bit. So this is a knife that if you need to get it taken apart, you will probably need to send it in. What I will say is that, I mean, the goal in my disassembly of it was to make the action better and to make it snappier, and I accomplished that. So, I mean, it's pretty drop shutty. The lockup is super early, but I mean, it definitely is what I wanted it to be afterwards, but I was just so frustrated with the process that it didn't get much pocket time after the review, and so here it is. So again, have an understanding of what you're getting, and if you're looking for a knife like this, with this we are asking for $140. All right, and if these don't sell immediately and you want to throw an offer out, man, go for it. All right, we have a few more. So, all right, let's bring out this Tucson. This is the Tucson 123. It is an M390 slip joint. And the thing that I like about the slip joint is that it has a pocket clip. So it's a slip joint with a pocket clip, which is cool. Has a half stop, pretty darn thin blade. A little bit heavy because we have this titanium and then this copper kind of like inlaid to the scale, and I put a little bit of like a finish on it so you can see as it patinas, it sort of has that speckle pattern that I've put on some other ones. So yeah, cool knife. I sort of knew when I got it though that even though I might like it, that it wasn't going to be one that was going to knock a locking knife out of my like primary carry. So I knew that it wasn't going to be one that was going to get a lot of use, and so it really hasn't. Asking $65 for this. So M390, $65, that's pretty good. What else do we have? All right. So here's a Benchmade, and this is an Alan Elishewitz design. Let me see if I have the box nearby. I think I do, and I want to grab it. So, yeah, so this is the 885 BT Alan Elishewitz first production. This is number 8 in that first production run. So I got this because I was just a really big fan of the model, and yeah, I wanted to get it. And honestly, I have no reason to want to get rid of this knife, except that with my collection, I just want to collect other things. And so I want to make room financially, and so that's why this one has to go. This is a titanium liner lock, and that titanium just has a little bit of like up and down kind of movement, like a tiny bit. I can actually feel none right now, but just sometimes depending on how it locks up, you'll feel it. G10 ATS, I think 34 is the steel on this, if I remember right. Yeah, so, I mean, it's a pretty sweet collector's piece. Has that really old Benchmade USA clip. I like the knife, no problems with it. I see on eBay that people sometimes ask for like a lot of money for these, but I don't really think there's any demand really, so I'm gonna say 150. All right, if it sells, it sells. If not, okay. I've got a Kizer right here. This is the Steve Jernigan designed Wakulla. Really like Steve Jernigan designs. This one is not necessarily the most perfect one. It just is maybe a little bit awkward in this area here, but I don't know. I just always liked the look of it. I did put a lot of pocket time with this, and you can see there's just a lot of scratches. I mean, the titanium scratches easily on this, and you know, I just wasn't really holding back or trying to baby the thing. So yeah, you'll see some wear on that, and I think there's a scratch. Yep, there you go. One scratch on the blade there too. So they're there. Liner lock, the lockup on this is good. The action is, well, the thumb stud isn't really the best action, but you do have like the front flipper option kind of deal, and then the flipper. So it's a pretty neat mechanism. Fun knife. So we will say 75 bucks for this. They sold for like a ridiculous amount, like 180 online. It's not worth 180. 75 bucks I think is it's a pretty fair deal. All right, and I've got just a couple more. I've got a package deal actually. So talking about users, talking about knives that might need work. If you are able to maybe repair knives or do work on knives, this might be like a really, really good package for you. Because what we have is the Rectifier. This one was originally in olive green, and I dyed the scale black. And I also did some heat ano on the back of the titanium to make it bronze. All right. When I put it back together, I struggled because these screws are really, really particular. Like, they're not all the same. You have to have the right screw here and there, and it was tough. I mean, I ended up getting everything in the right spot, but I do have a little bit of rock here. And I mean, I don't know. It's not terrible, but it's frustrating, and it's something I wasn't able to fix myself. I could fix it myself, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just not something I'm interested in doing. I know every time I talk about lock rock, I get a whole bunch of comments about this is how you fix it. I can do it, blah, blah, blah. And the people who've done it for me in the past, I appreciate that. And some people have bought knives for me in the past, or I've just sent them knives and they've been able to fix stuff. And maybe you're one of those people, because this knife has it. And then this one I got in a trade, and I've actually never carried. This is the Dorado. This was modified by someone else, so I mean, it has its own unique look. It has, you can see some scratches on the blade, so it's definitely a user. This is just a straight titanium frame lock, so there's no interface or anything, and there is some rock there as well. So these two knives I'm selling as a package, like a fixer-upper package, so understand what you're getting, you know, users. A little bit of like scratches, and you know, obviously some work that needs to be done on these. For both of these knives though, 90 bucks. So if you're able to fix this, or you want to take the chance, but again, buyer beware. Not a very good salesman here. Not really selling anybody on any of this stuff. All right, and we have one more Benchmade. Here is the Benchmade, God, what's the number? I can't even remember anymore. This is the 907. So this is the mini Nitrous striker, another Alan Olishewicz design. I got this one used. I polished it up, but it does have some wear, some scratches on the D2 blade here. This has that Nitrous assisted opening. This one also just doesn't have the like most flush lockup, so a little bit of up and down. You know, nothing major, but it's something that, you know, just happened over time with this knife. And again, maybe you can be the one to fix it. Let's ask 75 bucks for this knife. So, right, G10, pretty cool little one. One thing about it, oh yeah, let me tell you that. I have the dick clip is on this, but it's also just tip down only. So, not sure if anyone's gonna be interested in this one. All right, last but not least, we have an interesting story. So this is the Spyderco Mike Draper folder. The Mike Draper folder is one that was sent to me to be added into the raffle for Nick Maffei. And that raffle, I think, was pretty successful, raised close to $600 total, which was pretty cool. And what the stipulation was that this knife would get added to the raffle if the total amount went over $500, and the person who donated the most would get it. Well, the guy who donated the most, who earned the knife, he lives in Canada, and I shipped him his other winnings, and he basically just wanted to do a trade of sorts, or he wanted something different because, you know, this wasn't a knife that he was going to want to keep, and instead of me shipping it to him and then him having to ship it back out of Canada, and they have their crazy custom laws right now, we basically arranged a deal where I gave him a different knife, and one that I was going to sell. It was a smock, actually, that I was going to sell for $160, and so now I'm going to sell this for $160, and that'll basically break it even. And yeah, I really guess that's it. So I don't know exactly what these go for on the aftermarket. Hoping to get 160 so that we can be all square with him. But yeah, it's a pretty sweet piece of VG10 titanium, beautiful old discontinued Spyderco. Yeah, centering is slightly off, but that can be adjusted. When I first got it in my hand, it wasn't quite as smooth as it is now, and so I tinkered with it and adjusted it a little bit, and so the action is better. So I'm sure you could probably do some things and help center it. This comes with the Spyderco pouch. So yeah, 160 for this. Again, I think I could probably get more, but that's just the break even. I was going to sell my smock, which was the 20 CV smock with like aftermarket hardware on it. That's what I was going to sell for. That's what I was going to sell the smock for. So that's what I'm asking here, and that'll do it. And then so someone else can get this awesome Mike Draper folder. All right, guys. So there's a lot of knives here. Any questions, let me know. Like I said, the stuff in the description will be updated constantly so that you get a understanding of what's still available. And yeah, first come, first serve, and I will definitely keep in communication as much as possible in order to let you guys know when this stuff is actually going to ship. All right, any other questions, comments, complaints, suggestions, let me know down below. I really appreciate it. Thanks very much for watching. Take care and have a good one.